Smriti, when people talk about all the scams and the allegations that have confronted UPA, they also look at the BJP and see pretty much the same thing happening in your party as well, and wonder whether the BJP's idea of India is any different from the Congress's idea of India, or is it just the same thing?
Thanks, Rahul. I very closely listened to what Manish's idea of India is in the next few years. And I've heard deliberations over the day in your conclave with regards to the aspirations of the youth and what the future awaits. I think that there are certain realities today that one needs to confront. You speak about a youth which is aware, you speak about a youth which is not anymore indulging in the chalta hai attitude. And I think that when that youth looks upon the challenges that India has today, they find that while Manish speaks about the century of Asia, they find that 50% of Asia's poor reside in India. They also find that as of this day, 460 million Indians are either underemployed or unemployed. And they wonder at times whether we are applying ourselves to the challenges today so that we can make a better future for them. When I spoke to a few people before I came to the conclave, there was one central theme that came from the youth that I engaged with. They told me that whenever there is a conversation about the youth in our country, it's mostly urban-centric. We fail to realize that 2/3 of our country's youth resides in the 600,000 villages that we have in our country today. So when we talk about their aspirations, that youngster who is not necessarily uneducated or illiterate, that youngster asks us as to why after 6.5 decades of independence, as of this day, we do not have an agricultural scientist in every district. Why is it that we have lost 14 million jobs in the sector of agriculture? And why would a youngster then aspire to be a farmer in our country? So while we are talking about the challenges or we are hopeful about the future, we also need to realize in a country of 1.2 billion people today, when you talk about the youth, you also talk about the challenges that possibly await them in the health sector. And in a billion-plus country, we have only 7 lakh doctors. I had the opportunity of speaking to Dr. Swaminathan, and I said that today the one topic that the youth debates intensely is the race for globally for food security, for water security. And we all know that only those who are best prepared will win this race. And I asked Dr. Swaminathan that when the youth interacts with you, what do they ask? And he told me that we all know that India awaits a future where possibly in our country temperatures will rise due to global warming from 3 to 5 degrees centigrade. And with every degree of change in temperature, our wheat production will decline by 6 million tons. So I asked him, sir, did you propose any kind of solution? And he surprisingly told me that I've been proposing solutions since 1970s. And I've been saying that we need 128 agroclimatic zones. We need to reserve our seeds. We need to increase our yield. And I often wondered, Rahul, that we do have solutions that have presented themselves before. Why is it that we have failed in implementing them? I'm sure that you had panelists today who spoke about India as one of the largest emerging markets which will fuel consumption the world over. And I've always wondered that we are a very talented and hardworking people. Why have we not been able to fuel our productivity, our production capabilities? Why is it that even in this day and age, we're talking about 80% of projects which are stalled? So when you talk about the difference between the Congress and the BJP's approach towards the challenges that the future poses before us, I think today your theme is reinventing democracy. What the youth is saying is that it's not democracy that has failed us, it is the government. So we need to reinvent governance. And we need to address issues of governance. The youth wants to be proactive, not only wants to compete equally, but also contribute equally. So I think the one thing that distinguishes BJP is the fact that we have always believed in minimum government and maximum governance. And I think that is the mantra of the future.
Thank you very much, Smriti.